I see we're down to the hardcore, obviously left with the adventurers and the drinkers, well, my kind of people. Anyway, and I understand Ellen's already online looking for a slip for a new icon. But thank you for inviting me to this, Marty and Gary. I spent most of my life in Washington, D.C. I've been an avid boater since a kid. And when I had the means starting in 2000, I was able to move up in the boating world. We all know everybody has to get one bigger and trade in for the bigger and the bigger. And 2000, ICON Yachts started producing boats in Italy and rapidly became the yacht to have. By 2006, it became the second or third largest builder in its category in terms of luxury yachts in the 60 to 80 foot range. And by that time, they were already building about 170 of them a year. 2007, they went public on the Milan Exchange, came out with a market cap of about 400 million euros. We all know that was a great year to go public, and then 2009 hit. The original founder and his group were obviously trying to keep the company afloat. It was difficult to fire people in Italy at that time. So they said, let's just keep producing them. Hopefully this is a short-lived recession. Of course, it wasn't. And the company hung on until about 2011, 2012, and ceased operations. The competing yacht companies, the main competing yacht companies in that space, Ferretti and Sunseeker, which some of you may be familiar with, they were acquired by the Chinese at that time. And, unfortunately, we all know what happens when that happens. They were starting to, it was more about volume and rather than doing, the customized. I don't want to badmouth any competitor because they're good boats, but they just, they haven't maintained the standards they did before then. So in the meantime, I had three icons, and I loved every one of them. Each one had to be a little bigger, and I became good friends with the CEO, Mark Udo Broch of the Icon Americas. We shared sitting on the board of another yacht company in Italy. In 2019, he came to me and he said, I'm getting a lot of inquiries from Icon owners, previous and present. They're saying, will Icon ever come back? Because it was the best running hull, it was the sexiest boat, it was, the craftsmanship, everything about it, it made it so unique in the marketplace. So knowing that I'm half crazy, he contacted me and said, you want to go to Sicily? That's where the company was founded and where they had the factory, and see if we can buy the brand. We went to Sicily. We found out two Chinese groups and a group from Dubai tried to buy the brand because it's very well recognized in the boating industry. They were turned down. We were able to acquire primarily because Mark was born and raised in Italy, speaks the language, has a history of the company, and they knew that we would keep the facility operating in Italy rather than shifting it over to China or to the Middle East. We then have to figure out where are we going to build them. We talked to some shipyards. We were up north talking to some, and there was an editorial in the Sicilian newspaper that said we can't let Icon leave Sicily. That would be like Gucci leaving Rome. We got to stay here. And COVID hit at that time. We got a visit from the senator that from Sicily that represents Sicily and Rome, and said, if we put together a delegation and an incentive package, would you stay in Sicily? I said, sure, we'll look at anything. They came back with an incredible package, including, out duty-free zone, tax breaks. If you all are familiar with Europe in general, they have, rather than withholding, they have contribution, what the employer pays the government, which covers all of their pension, the health care, and the other social services. And it's usually a little over 100% of what the actual base salary is. So we have a deal with the Italian government that any capital expenditures we make, we can deduct 100% of the contributions, which is huge, considering our average labor costs and our payroll in the factory is about 1,300 euros in Sicily, which is already half of what the other competitors are paying up north. Plus they have to pay another 100% plus for contribution. So we have, they also, last thing, which can only happen over there in Sicily, I think, the trustee was kind of pushed into giving us the 200,000 square foot factory and a 20,000 square foot office building for 5,000 euros a month. We have an option to buy it at a very good price that we want to exercise the first year. We went ahead and hired the number one, what we think is the number one yacht designer in the world. He primarily does, now he does only huge, the big ones, 100 to 300 footers. He loved our project. He designed, Sergio Cotullo, he designed the first one, which is the 66 Vivere, which stands for Let Live. And it's 70 foot long. We started production in the factory in fall of 2000. Last summer, we delivered the first new produced custom built yacht, and it actually won the World Yacht Award in Cannes last fall at the Cannes Yacht Festival, which we were obviously very thrilled. As a result of that, we obtained a lot of, not only kudos, but also interest worldwide in the yachting world and quite a backlog. In fact, maybe Marty, if you could show, it's a 1 minute video. I held back on doing the PowerPoint thing. I have some copies here in the back here if anybody wants it later to go through some of the information that I covered. But this shows you the boat that won the World Yacht Award. There's Italian music that goes with it, but then we have no sound system here.
Andre Bocelli?
About 6 feet?
That's 70 feet long.
Andre Bocelli?
Pardon?
Is the music Andre Bocelli?
Yes, you can hear it in there?
I know someone who's on their foundation. I'll introduce you.
Great, and Sergio designed his yacht.
Even better.
Yeah,
Very nice.
but that's the engine room, that's a guest room, that's a VIP room there. That's the master. The master suite is amazing with that window. It's 4.5 feet in diameter. We had to comply with regulations being so close to the water. We had to, it's bulletproof, which the Sicilians like. It's good reinforcement.
Now I really want one.
Everything
My favorite
is,
Italian song is
as you can
That's
see, is hand built. What I love about it is, being a passionate boater, and I decided to get in this. I was in my previous life in the energy, primarily energy and energy related business. When I was looking at 70 back in 19, I was thinking I want to do something that I have a passion for and I love. And going to Italy and Sicily and watching these workers, ferrying the side of the boat, caressing it like it was, some beautiful lady, that they're going to be seeing later on that evening. It's magical over there. They still have that love of art and craftsmanship. And it's so demonstrated when you see the boat.
Is everything gonna be a new design or some of the old products are gonna be?
No, we have, the thing is anything over 100 foot, typically in the yachting industry, is custom built. The gap in the market was custom built in the 60 to 90 foot range. Because most of them now, especially since the Chinese bought two of the big ones.
I'm at my Icon before.
Yeah, even ICON before
That's nice.
was custom. They were custom, but not to the degree we're making them now. What happens is that right now you want to go and buy a boat in this size. It's like going to buy a car in the car lot. You can have this color or that color or bye-bye. Is that once a customer is identified, they sit down with our design team in Sicily. We want them to come see the factory. We want them to see how it's built. They sit down with the design team and they carve out what's their layout. Do they want 3 staterooms, 4 staterooms? They want galley forward? Do they want it aft? What kind of engines? Do you have options of engines? So what's the interior design like? So it's their boat. It's like a custom built home.
This is for the moment all in a 70 footer. Do whatever you want with
70
it.
footer, we already have the final design and we're working on the mold for the 78, which is an 80 footer. And we have design plans already in place, the architectural work done for the 90 footer. That's as big as we're gonna go. May do 100 because we have a customer a charter customer that's looking for 5. So,
Can you send me the video with the music?
sure.
I have a friend who works at the UN from Italy,
Oh,
the
great.
Como one specifically. And she's on the board of Andre Bocelli's foundation. But I can gather some folks.
Awesome. That's great. I definitely, thank
And I'd
you.
love to see
Thank
that
you very
whole
much.
video.
What is that, the boat? How much is that?
Right, that one was 3637. There, the second one
37 what?
right now is on its way
37 what?
over here.
$3.75.
You can send Venmo.
Dollars?
It's Italian lira.
You have to ask, you can before this.
Italian lira.
Yeah, lira. No, it's not lira, not lira.
Is there a dealer network or do
Yeah,
people buy directly?
we have distributors. In fact, the distributor we have for the East Coast is actually in Long Island, in Port Washington. Has office in Port Washington as well as in Fort Lauderdale. The distributors have a minimum requirement per year that they have to put in the orders to maintain their exclusive distributorship. They cannot represent any other makers in our category. Too many dealers nowadays say, oh, you don't like this one? How about this one? Oh, if you don't like that, we'll go over here. This is exclusive. Recently I was down in Cabo. We signed Mexico with a very substantial entity down there and there's a lot going on, as you know, in Cabo especially. We signed in Spain, we signed in France. Greece, we're negotiating. We're negotiating with our current East Coast distributor who's a very substantial businessman. So it's not just it's not a broker. You have to have the ability to do service marketing, open up the boutique offices and hire a crew. Negotiating and teaming up with another substantial player in the industry to have the nationwide distributorship.
What is the number of boats you're doing per year and what do you project out?
We just, as I mentioned, we delivered the first one last year. The second one is on its way, it's actually on its way to Genoa from the factory to get on the ship to come over. We have 3 in production. We have backlog for 6 right now. 7th, which is a 78, or the new 78 is in final. We're waiting for the deposit. I don't consider it's done until the deposit's in.
78 footer.
3.7 million, 3.6 million per boat. Just on one boat, you're gonna make 3.7. Multiply that by 10.
You know-
You're at, but 10 would be what, year 2, year 3?
Yeah, by next year, we're looking at kicking out the door around 7, maybe 8. Because once you have it set up,
21 million,
we can,
22 million.
we do it in stages, obviously. And the fiberglass works about 3 to 4 months, and then it moves into compartmentalization and down the chain. We can produce out of that factory anywhere between 26 to 30 boats a year.
So when you went to these brokers, obviously they sell all kinds of boats. So do you have any ideas like who you're up against? You're too big for a Hinckley, for instance. Who's in that space that you want to be in?
Well,
Couple
this-
names.
Yeah, this
So
is,
I'm sorry, are you trying to sell yachts? You're not raising capital, right?
we're looking, here's the situation. Yes and no, Marty, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
I
you
need to
for bringing it
clarify,
up.
what's the purpose of this?
Yeah, my purpose is for us to go have a drink after this. No,
That's
the good news is, we don't have to have new capital to survive. But it's a slow go, because Mark and I funded most of this ourselves. And it takes some, we did it on a bootstrap basis at a fraction of what any corporation would do, because it was our own money. We brought in a couple friends and family. The largest that we brought in as a friend who happens to be CFO of Berkshire Hathaway Automobiles, one of their small $20 billion divisions, but he's not even a boater. He got into it because he liked our business plan, that we had
So the
low-cost
total amount you put
labor.
in was how much?
What's that?
How much did you put in
We
altogether?
put in about 2.5, almost 3 million.
Okay.
And John, who is our partner, he got into it because the fact we're only doing custom boats. Where boat builders, home builders, and all get into trouble, as we know, they get carried away with themselves and start building spec boats. And then when there's a downturn,
Ay,
boom. We will not build a boat without a deposit and without progress.
Profit margins.
The distributors get a discount of 25% from the MSRP. Right now, the MSRP is right under 4 million.
Maybe the clarification is, how much are you raising? You're looking to raise?
Yeah, we're looking at, of course, it depends on the term, somewhere between 5 and 8 million. And we'd look at we'd probably prefer doing a convertible. It makes more sense, I think, for the parties to do that. I'm heading back to Italy next week with our new chief financial guy who has a lot of international experience with early stage international companies and has taken some from very small to over $2 billion.
Sorry, corporate domicile is Italy or somewhere else?
Our home base is
The
Florida.
company. It's an
ICON
American
Group
company.
is a US company
That's amazing.
for obvious reasons.
Fine. Nothing obvious, but I go ahead.
You're in
Well,
Ponte Vedra?
it is because in Italy, we have it broken down into five groups, but they're all subsidiaries of the ICON Group. With the transfer, we'd rather pay US taxes than Italian taxes.
So you guys are based in Ponte Vedra?
No, we're in Miami, North
Oh, okay.
Miami.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
So you're gonna be at the Miami Boat Show?
We won't, not this year, we will be in the Fort Lauderdale coming up here. We have a
Fort
slip
Lauderdale
there, we'll
show?
be in the Palm Beach.
Can you
The
give me a
Miami
special?
show has turned into it's broken up.
Because that's where you need to be. I mean, that's
Not-
once a year.
Yeah, I know. but
Miami's bigger
we-
than Fort Lauderdale? I thought Fort Lauderdale was the
our-
biggest.
Fort Lauderdale is the biggest by
No,
far.
I didn't mean it literally. I mean, you should be in there are multiple
Oh, yeah,
shows
we're-
in
la-
Fort
last-
Lauderdale, Miami, and Palm Beach.
Last fall, we were in Newport, Annapolis, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
So
the
you're gonna give
capital
us,
of the world.
are you
Not
gonna give us
capital
some
of the world.
tickets
I
so I
live
can
there.
send people to Fort
Absolutely.
Lauderdale?
We'll
And
have,
say, this is going on Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, if you wanna come
we'll
and stop
have
by.
2 of these here.
Yeah,
And absolutely,
no,
if
no,
you
you're
have
gonna send
somebody,
me an email
okay.
with a voucher so they can get into the Fort Lauderdale, I don't know.
Well, I can't send a pre-voucher because we won't get them, but you tell me who comes, I'll make sure they're on the list.
I will do that, so, no, well, yes, I will do something like that.
Yeah, because that way we can make sure there's a guest.
So the Palm Beach is in
Fort Lauderdale.
March.
The Fort
Yeah, Fort
Lauderdale,
Lauderdale's
Fort
first,
Lauderdale's the
November.
last week in October. That's the next big one.
Yes.
Oh, I
Mark
might
and
be able
and
to
some
do
of our,
US is your market, because I asked the question, because I'm thinking of people that own Rivas and Wally yachts.
oh, you know
They're
that.
not in Fort Lauderdale.
Uh,
That's
That's a med
different.
boat.
I'm just asking what your plan is, that's all.
The US market right now is probably 65 to 70%
Okay.
in that space.
Okay.
The target, we're not looking for, again, we're not a mass producer. We never want to be. We want to stay exclusive. We want to have limited production. That way you know, we want the person that's fun, whether it's a sports star or a businessman that says, you know, when he pulls into the South Beach Marina where people are saying, wow, that's an icon. That's so-and-so's icon, rather than see another 4 or 5 of the exact same
So
boats.
this is your target market, is that was all the only question?
Yeah,
John,
So is the
I have an
first
idea
thing,
for you.
what's that?
My nephew runs the private wealth office of Morgan Stanley in Palm Beach. Maybe we can make an event.
Love to, because in fact, we have a boat right, the new one now is heading to Palm Beach.
So for the end of October.
You know Skip Zimbalist?
What's that?
Skip Zimbalist used to run the Fort Lauderdale
Yeah,
Boat Show?
sure,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of stuff with them.
Informa has it now.
Yep. Fantastic, great. Wow, so great. I'm sorry we're running out of time, but,
We were just getting started.
yes, so we'll have to talk about it over
No, I
drinks.
love, you know what, obviously, it's.
Just a
it's
quick question before you
Our
leave.
mission
Really
statement is
simple,
passion to profit.
Are you in New York for a while?
I like
I'm
that.
leaving tomorrow morning.
That
but-
should be my
There's
But I
a
get
guy
back
I
here a
thought you
lot.
should talk to,
I'm
just
gonna say
coming
that
to
a
New
lot.
York, but never mind.
passion
You
of
always
profit
make it
sounds
later.
No, but I also have a home in DC, so I get back to the East Coast. I have a couple of grown kids.
Good or
that
not,
check
we'll meet
out.
up with you in Fort Lauderdale on the deck of your yacht.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
Excellent.
I'm telling
Well,
you,
thank you.
lend us a yacht for Miami or Basel and we will pack it with people.
All right, it's a deal.
We've done it before.
It's a great
That's a
idea,
deal.
Mark.
We have done it before. Anyway, thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much.